Okay, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to jikGeek in the Week, and welcome to our House of the Dragon Season 2 preview special. Audio's coming in clutch. How's it going, everyone? Great to be on again. Second time this weekend. Massive weekend. House of the Dragon Season 2 dropping tonight. I am absolutely max hype. The hype has never been more max than it is today. Maybe for Season 1, but Season 2 is going to shaping up to be absolutely unbelievable. Now, I've been struggling with OBS this morning, this afternoon, and struggling with the webcam as well, so that's why you haven't got a picture of me here, but we can move forward with that nonetheless. If you join us in the chat, great to have you with us as always. Welcome to all of the new subscribers. Absolutely buzzing for House of the Dragon Season 2. Let's get a chat poll while I can. Right, let's just do that quickly. Okay. Right, let's just do a quick poll. Which team? We'll go with which team. Which team are you on? I think we have Varga in the comments before we went live talking about Team Daemon, which I'm pretty much on, to be fair. I mean, I'm Team Aemon, Aemond and Daemon. I think they're both absolutely badass, and the level of badassery is only going to get bigger and bigger as the season goes on. So we're going to put them as options: Team Daemon and Team Aemond. Because, fuck the rest. Yep, absolutely buzzing. Right, what we got going on today, folks? We have an absolute mammoth-packed schedule for you all. We're going to go through the time. So there's going to be full spoilers. Calling it out right now. Full spoilers. Let's put that in the chat. Full spoilers for Hot D S2. A lot of the other Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon tubers, they kind of steer away from spoilers, but I think we're gonna have a bit of fun with the spoilers. We're gonna go through the trailer again. We're gonna go through the events of season 2. I think we've had the season 2 episode titles leak, or they've been put onto Reddit anyway, so we're gonna go through those. I've managed to do some sort of family tree that I was using last year for season 1. We're going to dive into the Unclaimed Dragons, and we're going to have a quick look at some of the new main characters that we're being introduced to in Season 2 of House of the Dragon. Maybe a bit of backstory. Maybe let's looking at where these characters impact the story in Season 2. We're probably not going to go any further than Season 2 because it's probably clear. I think it is clear, and it has been confirmed as to where this season ends, which is before the Battle of the Gullet, which is that mad as hell sea battle.
Seem like a man who understands violence.
So it's obvious that it's probably going to end there, which is good. And yeah, so we'll probably keep conversations to season 2, and obviously full spoilers for season 1, spoilers for Fire and Blood as well, maybe even some spoilers for Game of Thrones and the rest of the books as well. Great to have a few of you joining me in the chat. We've got the community head-to-head going on as well. We've got the chat poll going on. Let me know your votes. We've already got Varga in the chat. Tomorrow's going to consist of me napping at work, staying up till 3 a.m. You know what, pal? I am absolutely so jealous. If I didn't have to get up for work so early, then I'd be up at 2 this morning as well, because I'm from the UK, and we don't get it until Monday morning at 2 o'clock. So I might even try and wake up early tomorrow morning and get it watched before work. Yeah, that's going to be absolutely incredible. Buzzing for that, and I'm going to try and jump onto a poddy tomorrow as well, tomorrow night, so we can get a quick time reaction to the new episode. Right, where are we going to start then? So, I think what we'll do is we'll recap on the family tree first. We'll have a bit of a recap. So, where are we? Let's get the PowerPoint. Okay. No, that's the wrong one. There we go. Right. Spot on. So, this isn't the full family tree. I've leveraged this heavy from season 1, but I've kind of tried to update it as and where, and I think we're just going to kind of do a bit of a brief overview as to some of the key players for season 2. So, obviously coming off the back of season 1, Viserys has passed, and that's where this conflict begins, because his heir, Rhaenyra, with the red, or the red and black, the blacks, obviously, that's Viserys' heir. But because Alicent was in King's Landing at the time, she obviously, her and Otto and the rest of the council have took it upon themselves to name Aegon II as the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. And what this has done, I mean, we're all, unless you've been under a rock the past year or two, you would have seen season 1. But what this has done is that's the catalyst. So his death, Viserys' death, has been the catalyst for the start of this Dance of the Dragons. And it's such a sexy metaphor, that is, because it means so much. Dancing of dragons in the sky, the Dance of the Dragons politically. There's probably going to be a lot of sword fighting as well in this season and seasons to come. So that whole notion of the Dance of the Dragons I just think it's such a great play on words. But essentially what we've got then is Team Rhaenyra, Team Black, and Team Aegon, Team Green. Team Green obviously backed up by Alicent Hightower, Otto, and Aegon's brother and sister, Aemond and Helena. Whereas we've got Team Black, Rhaenyra, we're backed up by the Rogue Prince himself, Mr. Badass, Daemon Targaryen, who is probably the coolest character on Game of Thrones we've ever had. But also we've got a lot of supporting characters in Team Black as well. We've got Corlys Velaryon, we've got Rhaenys, who the queen who never was, and then we've got a bunch of kids. Now, the secondary, the secondary catalyst for the start of the dance and the start of all the bloodshed will have been from episode 10 in season 1, which is the death of Lucerys, so Luke. So if you recall, during the Black Queen episode, Aemond, he's gone to see the Baratheons to gain their political allegiance, and Luke and Jace have been told to go to different places. So Jacaerys, so Jace's task has been to fly north, and we're going to see a lot of his story in season 2 of him flying north to various places. In the books, he goes to the Arryn, he goes to White Harbour to see the Manderleys, and then he goes to the to Winterfell to see Cregan Stark. There's no real evidence in the books, though, that talks about him going beyond Winterfell, but I think it's pretty obvious from the trailer, and we'll go through that shortly. It's pretty obvious that him and Cregan Stark are at the Wall, or at least I think they're at the Wall anyway, and I think that's where we're going to start seeing things like the Pact of Ice and Fire come to life, maybe some references to the White Walkers, maybe some references to the Children of the Forest, and maybe maybe even some references, some more references to Azor Ahai or the Prince That Was Promised. But what we've got is Team Black, Team Rhaenyra. We've got supporting characters. We've got the kids. Now, Luke went to Storm's End as well as Aemond, and obviously that's when kind of the shit hit the fan, really. Aemond chased Luke on Dragonback, and it kind of, we were massively referred back to episode 1, where Viserys told us that the characters don't control the dragons. Controlling the dragons is an illusion. And how evident was that at the end of season 1? Now, comparing that to the books, it's not evident in the books as to whether this was Aemond doing this purposefully or whether this was the dragon. But it's confirmed, obviously, in the show. And I see the show as a very it's a very middle ground for all of this story. It's likely that how it went down on the show is the true events. Yes, there will be some differences to Fire and Blood, but if you remember, if you've read Fire and Blood, this is told from various characters, most of which we don't see in the show, their perspectives. So we've got a court jester, we've got a maester, there's a couple of other people that we see some perspectives from. But this seems to be quite the kind of the nonchalant, the kind of, the real events. Because what's not in the books, in Fire and Blood, is the scene from episode 1 with Viserys and young Rhaenyra when they talk about Aegon's dream and they talk about the Song of Ice and Fire. They relate that to the Prince That Was Promised. That isn't in the books. And yes, that's come from George Martin, and I think that's what I think that's either it's a spoiler for The Winds of Winter, it's a spoiler for A Dream of Spring, but it's probably going to run as the prophetic element to this story throughout the Dance of the Dragons. So it's just going to be absolute fucking chaos, I think. Now, another key player in the books for Rhaenyra is Corlys. Now, who I haven't got on here, but we'll get to, are some of Corlys's supposed bastard children, or Laenor's supposed bastard children, because they do play a key part in season 2, or they may play a key part in season 2. What we've also got is we've still got Baela and Rhaena, who are over there on the left, over here. Now, I think it's only Baela at the end of season 1 that claimed a dragon. I think that was Moondancer. I do have a list of all the dragons, and we can go through those in a bit. I don't think Rhaena claimed and claims a dragon at all during the Dance of the Dragons, but that's book canon. Where we've had some leaks, and there's a few of you watching, so I'm just going to throw it out there. I will be discussing the leaks from the books and likely what we've heard from a lot of the sources on the internet. So if you don't want to be spoiled, happy for you to kind of, drop off, maybe come back after tomorrow. What we're faced with, though, is some character changes, and we can get into those as well. Now, that's kind of a TLDR of the Team Black, and I think before we get into Team Green, let's just check the chat. So we got Varga saying Jacaerys is probably going to be up there with him most of. Hang on, sorry. Jacaerys is probably going to be up there with the most interesting characters of the season. Absolutely, Varga. And I think Cregan is one of the draws of the season. The Starks are a massive fan pull. They're a massive... they're the good guys, in effect. And that family it basically takes us back to the good days of Game of Thrones. So introducing Cregan as early as possible is going to be a green light in my eyes. I think we're going to have multiple scenes with Jace and Cregan, either atop the wall or within Winterfell. I do think they're going to go to Castle Black. So yeah, I think great to have a few of you with us in the chat as well. Season 2, for the new comment in the chat, season 2 in the US airs tonight at 9 p.m. and airs in the UK at 2 a.m. tonight. So wherever you are in the world, those are kind of your benchmark times. You won't be able to watch season 2, or at least episode 1 season 2, until 9 o'clock, or even probably past that tonight. So probably take that into consideration. So what else have we got? So we've got Aegon the Second, and he is the Navtej. What we've got is we've got HBO dropping it as they did last year. So they did one episode per week. Let me see if I've got this somewhere. This information about when the episodes are going to drop. When will season 2 Hot D drop? Right, here we go. So let's just put that in the chat for you. So those are the dates. They're probably going to follow the time patterns with the US and the UK as well. So it doesn't matter if you're, if you're doing creative ways to find this, or if you're, watching this legitimately, you won't be able to watch it until these dates at around 9-10 o'clock at night US time. So this isn't going to be a one and done dump. This is going to be a weekly episode. I know it's it's the Netflix model. Dumping all at once is not good for viewers, because our viewers have been spoilt these days. But I think in order to generate max hype and discord and massive viewership, it's the evidence is clear out there that dropping episodes week by week, particularly real massive stories like this, like real popular ones like House of the Dragon, it's beneficial for the show. You get more viewers, obviously. You probably get more hashtags. You get more Discord. You just get more engagement. So when will they release in India? Let's have a look. So House of the Dragon season 2, India. Monday 6:30 a.m. by the sounds of it. Yeah, it's probably in and around 6:30, 7 o'clock. So thanks there, Varga, for chipping in there. So it's not going to be a one and done drop. It's going to be multiple episodes. So I think what we'll do is we'll just wrap up Team Green, and what I'm going to try and do before tomorrow is get this family tree enhanced with some additional characters on here, because we've got the likes of, we've got the new characters, which I can go through, but I kind of want to try and see where I can position them to showcase the relationships between the new characters and the existing or the old characters. But essentially what we've got is, so Viserys has married Alicent, and they had the 3 children. Aegon II being the oldest boy, thus he is in Alicent's eyes the heir to the Iron Throne, and at the moment I think he's the official king of Westeros at the moment. But what's interesting is we also had that scene at the end of season 1 I think it was episode 9. No, it was episode 8 when Viserys died. When Alicent was at Viserys' side as he was kind of passing away, and he was mumbling about the prince that was promised. Now, I'm really thankful, because I love all the prophetic stuff. I'm really thankful that they've introduced the prince that was promised and kind of gone real hard on it, because what we've got now is Alicent and Rhaenyra both understanding or both being aware of some sort of prophecy or some sort of link to the prince that was promised. Alicent now thinks it's Aegon. Rhaenyra thinks it's her or her children. Daemon once probably thought it was him, but he was never told about it. Or he was never told about Aegon's A Song of Ice and Fire. He might have been... he might have known about the prince that was promised, potentially. Or he might not have. I've got a feeling he didn't know. So, Navtesh, I think there's an interesting conversation online, I think, just before we go back into Team Green. And I did a video on this, so maybe check it out on the channel. My top 3 theories for House of the Dragon Season 2. One of those was Laenor returning returning in Season 2, but as Adam of Hull. Now, Adam of Hull is this new character that they were introducing in Season 2. He's got Valyrian lineage. He's related to Corlys in some way. He's related to Laenor in some way. But obviously, because we know now that Laenor isn't dead, he's just fled to the east, there's a potential for Laenor to come back. And there is some sort of subtle... it is slightly implied in the show that Laenor... that Adam of Hull, this Adam of Hull character, could be, it's a massive could, it's more probable in the show because we know that this character could be Laenor. Now, the key thing is the fact that if the show is the, is kind of like the 100% factual way of that things happened in this story, it means that Sea Smoke, who's Laena Velarion's dragon. Now let's just get that slide up. Let's just unhide that. What we've got here is Sea Smoke is claimed in Season 2 by this Adam Velaryon, this Adam of Hull. So we've got a really interesting situation here where Laenor's dead, or at least is believed to be dead, and he's believed to be dead in the books, and someone then goes and claims his dragon. But we now know that that isn't the case. We know that Laenor is still alive in the show, and I'm talking about this guy right here. So let's get the pen out. I'm talking about this guy right here. He is still alive. So whether he comes back, but I think we've had casting for Adam of Hull, so it's just not clear as to whether or not he could come back. Now, one thing I did talk about in one of the live streams we did is House of the Dragon Season 2 trailer. There was one shot from the trailer. Let's just see if I can find it on the beach. It's that shot where Rhaenyra's facing off against another dragon rider, and to me that got my head spinning, because either she's shocked that someone else is flying Sea Smoke because she knows Laenor is dead, isn't dead, sorry, and she's shocked that his dragon is riding someone else, has a new rider, or it's Laenor himself and he's reclaimed Sea Smoke. That'd be cool as fuck if he come back, man, I swear. That'd be really cool. It kind of clears up all the BS as well. But then again, it goes against the book. And I think, I think they've already made a couple of changes from the book canon just to enhance some of the lesser characters in Season 2. Much like Rhaena, I think Rhaena's got a bigger part in Season 2. maybe Kristen Cole has got less of a role in season 2. I've heard some rumours there. But, you know, it's shaping up to be an absolutely mammoth season of television. All over 8 weeks, by the way, folks. This is an 8-week show this time. This is not a 10-week season. So we've got Aegon. And Aegon's married to his sister, Helena. They've got 2 kids. We will be jumping into why these 2 children are extremely important for the early parts of the season 2, when we go through the episode deep dive. So we're going to keep dropping back to the family tree. I just think it's so easy in terms of like visualizing all of this and making it kind of easy to take in. I will try and include all the other characters for the live stream Q&A tomorrow. It's going to be every Monday, hopefully around 7-8 o'clock UK time. Nelson Moreno, great to have you with us in the chat. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for the comments. Nelson's mentioned, I don't know how to say it, but Hugh does the Smith work. So Hugh the Hammer is one of the new characters we're going to see in season 2. We can go through Hugh shortly. Rhaena will be in the Vale with Lady Arryn. That is correct. And that's how things go down in the book. However, I've heard different in the show. And it's not clear as to what role she plays, whether it's going to take over from Nettles, whether it's going to take over from someone else, whether she claims a dragon, whether she leaves Lady Arryn in the Vale for a period of time, because it's still I'm pretty sure it's still a fair way from the Eyrie to the Eyrie, Westeros. Let's just get a quick map. I'm pretty sure it's still quite a way from there to Harrenhal. Right, so what we've got is we've got Rhaenyra's team black, we've got Aegon's team green. Now, Kristen Cole plays an incredibly big part in this story, or at least he did in the books, in my eyes. But they're obviously going down the route of this being more to do with Alicent and Otto and the Hightowers, and maybe even the Maesters as well. Rather than, and Kristen Cole just being more of more a kind of the dog, really, and just doing as he's told, as he has done in season 1. But yeah, really shaping up. It's kind of, the faction is probably split like this, and I think even these 4, they are on the Green Council, so we'll be seeing those in season 2 as well. But pretty much, apart from this guy, so Arik, he is part of Team Green. Mazaria, she is part of Team Black. I might have to put some sort of like flag or something on the family tree emblems just to signal which part of the tree that they belong to. But it's pretty much here. To the left, we've got Rhaenyra. To the right, we've got Aegon's Team Green. And yeah, it's just going to be an absolute badass season of TV. Now, where else do we want to go? So let's just kind of have a quick view of the dragons. I know there's a few of you watching, so it's probably worth mentioning. I'm going to be going through quite a few spoilers for season 2. I know a lot of kind of GOT tubers don't like to go through the spoilers, but I'm just thinking, why not? And if you don't want to be spoiled, that's fine. You can come back and watch this later on, maybe after the episode's aired. Right, I think before we go, let's just jump back into the chat. So Vargas mentioned they've reduced Kristen Cole to being a whining simp in the show instead of the Kingmaker. Absolutely. You know, Varga, you're spot on there, because what we've got in the books is basically Christian Cole being the catalyst for the Dance of the Dragons and the catalyst for Aegon pursuing the crown as the king, and he's then labelled as the Kingmaker. Even Jaime Lannister references Kristen Cole. I think it's Jaime Lannister, or is it Barristan Selma? It's one of the two. One of them references the Kingmaker. What we've saw in season 1, he's a bit of a bitch boy, and he's kind of doing as he's told. And he's kind of doing the donkey work for Aegon. We'll probably see that carry on in season 2 as well, with Alicent and Otto maybe being more of the decision makers, and Aemon just being a complete and utter fucking badass that he is. Because I can't wait to see Aemond and Daemon. I know they're not going to go head to head this season, but I just can't wait to see any scenes with them, because they're going to be so fucking badass. It is untrue. Nelson Moreno mentions, I expect to also see Larys on the council. You know, Larys is a funny one, because we didn't see him towards the end of the season. I know there was that whole kind of foot thing, and that's a bit weird, but we won't be talking about that. But I don't think I recall seeing Larys a lot after that scene. So whether he's hiding in the shadows, whether he's hanging out somewhere, you'll have to correct me where I'm wrong on that one, Nelson, because I can't recall him being on the council in the books. And from some of the trailers and some of the footage that I've seen, he's nowhere to be seen. Now, I've got this impression he's going to be pushed as the magical element, especially on the green side. He's got some sort of connection in my eyes with the Weirwoods. And this obviously helps him with his kind of sneaking about and some of his plots and some of the support for Alicent that he's got. Now, what role he plays in season 2, I think is it's anyone's guess really, but I think he's still going to do... Larys is going to be to Alicent as Christian Cole is going to be to Aegon. You know, kind of do the legwork for Alicent. I think it's still up for debate as to kind of his role in season 2, though, Larys Clubfoot. So what we've got is also Nelson Moreno's mentioning, since we could spoil, Hugh is going to be a Smith worker on the Scorpion. That's an interesting kind of bit of a tidbit and a bit of a backstory there for Hugh. I don't think we're gonna see the dragon, what they called, what are they called? Excuse me. What are they called? The Blood Riders? No, House of the Dragon. Dragon Seeds, that's the one. I don't think we're going to see the Dragon Seeds until probably mid-season. Probably even late season. So, Vargas also mentioned Larys is to Team Green as to what Massaria is to Team Black, Master of Whispers. Yes, indeed. That is the spot-on role for Massaria and for Larys. Now, massive spoilers, but I've got a feeling, so, you know, spoiler warning here, I've got a feeling that Massaria is going to be massively involved in the early part of this season with Blood and Cheese. I've got this feeling that Daemon's going to get her involved. We've seen her in the trailer. I don't know what much more she could offer the season, if I'm honest, unless she goes, I mean, with Daemon, because Daemon really, after Blood and Cheese, he's nowhere to be seen. in King's Landing. So who is she the Master of Whispers for? Rhaenyra. Do even her and Rhaenyra get on? Is that kind of relationship there kind of stable? Is it a positive one? So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Mysaria. Maybe she could be. I'm just actually thinking off the cuff here. Maybe she could be involved with uncovering the Grand Maester conspiracy. Now, if you recall in season 1, it was pretty evident that the Maesters were working with Otto Hightower in order to impede Viserys and almost force him to not recover and almost force him to stay unhealthy and therefore kind of force him to, to die and to leave this political bloody atom bomb to go off. Potentially, we could have a battle of Whisper Masters between Larys and Mysaria, and maybe they could even introduce the Grand Maester conspiracy through that conflict as well. That would be pretty cool to see. For Mysaria to basically be the one that uncovers the Maesters are kind of plotting against magic and are plotting against the Targaryens themselves, and feed that back to Rhaenyra and feed that back to Daemon somehow. I think that'd be pretty cool. Right, what else have we got? So, I think that probably is... I think that's probably a high-level overview of the family tree. Now, let's just go through... These are the best pictures I could find on Google, by the way, for some of the dragons. I think we need a full spoiler warning. For Hot Z S2. Keep those votes coming in, folks, on the chat poll. We've got 67% of you, so 6 out of 9 are saying Team Black, 11 are saying Team Green, and 11%, so that's 1 out of 9, and 2 out of 9 have gone Team Daemon, which doesn't surprise me because Daemon is my favourite character in the Dance of the Dragon story. Now, just checking the chat. I need to see Cannibal. So do I, Varga. I'm a bit sceptical as to when we're going to see Cannibal because Unclaimed Dragon doesn't really have a lot to do, or a lot of, it doesn't really have a lot to do with the dance. So it's... I know Cannibal is kind of a fan favourite, and it is a cool as fuck dragon. It really is. I'm just trying to see if we can get any information. The Cannibal. Because he outlives the Dance of the Dragons, Cannibal. I've got a feeling we're not going to see him. Or it, should I say. It's a shame because it would be badass. What I'm really, really pumped for is Vermithor. Because as we know, and we can go into when we go through the trailer, Vermithor was seen at the end of season 1. So let's just get that full screen. So if you recall, Daemon singing to a dragon at the end of season 1, and that dragon going absolutely ballistic with the fire, that was Vermithor. In fact, yeah, that was Vermithor, and Vermithor becomes a very, very important character in the season 2 because, and as far as I'm aware, Vermithor is still going to be ridden by Hugh the Hammer. Now, Hugh the Hammer, new character, Dragon Seed, and basically what the Dragon Seeds are, we'll get to a point in Season 2, probably early doors, where Damon suggests, or in fact, this has already been suggested in Season 1, but they take action on this, where they kind of offer people with Valerian or Targaryen blood to come forward to claim the unclaimed dragons. And two people that come forward, one is Ulf the White, who will claim Silverwing, and the second is Hugh the Hammer, who will, I think, claim Vermithor in the show. Now, what we've also got is Nettles. Now, Nettles is not a dragon seed. However, Nettles, she does claim a dragon called Sheepstealer. And the way she does this is, now bear in mind, Nettles is not Targaryen. She's not Valyrian. But she does it in a really, really creative way. So, according to the book, Nettles is kind of lowborn. You know, she's come from nothing. But what she does is she feeds Sheepstealer sheep and basically waits for the dragon to be kind of dormant, a bit sluggish, tired from all of the meat, and then proceeds to claim the dragon, which I think is an absolute boss way to claim this dragon. Now, there's been a bit of controversy with Nettles because we don't know if Nettles is going to, if her story is going to be replaced with Rhaena, who is this one here, this one, or, you know, replacing Nettles. We don't know. I mean, they could have both, right? There was a potential person that, you know, could have been considered as Nettles at the red carpet event for Season 2. But it's likely that Rhaena is going to be taking the role of Nettles in the show. And I was watching a podcast with both. I was watching two podcasts this weekend. One was from the Dragon Demands and two was from Preston Jacobs. And both of them have categorically said, if this is the case, it's a fucking awful, awful decision. Because the whole point of Nettles' story is that she's come from nowhere. She's a nobody. And yet, even without Targaryen or Velaryon blood, she's able to claim and tame and ride a dragon effectively. And she's a massive key part when it comes to Daemon's story within this season and subsequent seasons. So if they do go and kind of change Nettles for Rhaena, I think we riot, folks. I do, because, you know, such an important character, such a really good story, a real kind of feel-good story. One of the only kind of feel-good factors. She has a really strong relationship, Nettles does, with Daemon in the books. They develop a really strong relationship. So it's going to be a shame if they do, if they kind of go with Rhaena as opposed to Nettles. I can see why they've done it, right? They're introducing a lot of characters already. Do they need to introduce one more? But this one more, you could argue, is as important as Hugh, as Ulf, and as kind of any of other of the main characters that we've seen in Season 1. Now, we've just had one of the comments in the chat from Nelson Moreno. If they're skipping Daeron and Tessarion, they're definitely skipping Cannibal, I think. Absolutely agree. Now, we've had no confirmation. Let's just go back to the Unclaimed Dragons. We've had no confirmation about where Daeron Targaryen is. Now, in the books, Daeron is he is a fourth son, so we should really have Daeron, Big DT, as a fourth son of Viserys and Alicent. But actually what we get is a situation where I can't remember if it was referenced in season 1, but it may be referenced in season 2 that Daeron is training to be a maester at the Citadel. So I think absolutely they're going to maybe touch on Daeron, because Daeron does play a part in the latter half, more so than he does in the kind of early season, the early parts of the story, and plays a very, very important role in, you know, that kind of the second half up until the climax of the Dance of the Dragons. Again, though, maybe it's another character they're going to ditch, because yes, he's important, but I don't think he's as important as the likes of Aegon and an Aemond. But maybe when Aegon kind of gets injured, maybe we can have Aemond kind of taking charge, and then they bring in Daeron then, more so. I'm thinking kind of like season 3, latter parts of season 3, maybe season 4 if there is one. Right, lots of activity going on in the chat, so let's just jump back to that. Looks like Vermithor got an update this season, judging by the most recent trailer. Looks a lot better, and that's from Varga, one of our moderators, and JGITW. Absolutely agree, Varga, and we'll be going through the trailer shortly when we've kind of just touched on, touched on this slide. We'll be going through the trailer again, and I think there is a shot. I know it's at the end with Rhaenyra, but I'm pretty sure we do get to glimpse Vermithor as well throughout the trailer, and it looks absolutely fucking badass. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Daeron, but I definitely think we're going to have reference to Daeron this season. If they don't reference Daeron this season, I don't think we're going to get it referenced at all. I think that's clear. But yeah, he definitely exists in the family lineage, but whether he's going to be introduced as a player in the Dance of the Dragons is a different story. Maybe they could, and I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. There's a possibility they could use Helaena more. But there again, Daeron does have a part to play. I'm sure he has parts to play when Helaena is kind of tied up doing stuff. Anyway. So we've got Ulf the White claiming Silverwing. We've got Hugh the Hammer claiming Vermithor. These are going to be two of the... these are going to be the Dragon Seeds. Who I haven't got actually on here, which I need to add, is... I need to figure out where... Oh, no, I have. Adam Velaryon. So remember Sea Smoke last season? Sea Smoke was the dragon of Laenor. And we know from, I think it was episode 6 or 7, that Laenor isn't dead. Now, why that is important is because, according to A Song of Ice and Fire lore, dragons can only have one living rider at a time, and therefore maybe they've either fucked up or they're kind of doing some sort of retcon, maybe, or they're going to give us an understanding as to why the fact that Laenor is still alive, yet Adam Velaryon would be claiming Sea Smoke. I think that's either a massive fuck up by Ryan Condal and George Martin, because bear in mind those are the two that are writing this, or there's got to be some legitimate, sensible answer as to how this is possible. Whether he's the same person, whether it's his son, and it could be that that dragon can have, You know, that dragon can have the same rider if it's part of your direct lineage, like it's your son or your brother, for instance, or you've got the same dad. Maybe that's the case. Even that, I think, is a bit bullshitty in my eyes. So we've got Adam Valarion as, I think, is another one of the dragon seeds, because he's got Valarian blood. Then we've got Nettles, who is not a dragon seed, but does claim Sheep Stealer, and we went through that earlier. Then we've got the big bad boss himself, Cannibal, which I don't think we will have referenced in Season 2. We've got Daeron Targaryen. We don't know where he is, but he claims this sexy-looking Tessarion dragon. And then we've got a final dragon known as Grey Ghost, which I don't think gets claimed until after the dance. I could be wrong. That could be another dragon, actually. Who claims Grey Ghost? No, I'm thinking of someone else. Right, so those are the dragons. I mean, touching on who we had last time, we've got Rhaenys with Maelys. We've got Rhaenyra, who is, you know, the Black Queen, riding Syrax. That's kind of like that gold-looking one. We didn't see much of Sunfire last season, but Sunfire is in the trailer and is Aegon II's Targaryen. So, Sunfire. And I'll try and get this sorted for tomorrow night's Q&A. Other call-outs. I'm unsure when we're going to see Helaena and Dreamfire. It'd be cool to see her ride. Maybe in retaliation for Blood and Cheese. That could be good. And I think this was kind of going to be my point, really. The fact that we've got Helaena riding a dragon, and yet it's a bit unclear as to when we're probably going to see that. Then we've got my my favourite, Caraxes, ridden by Daemon, redneck long boy from season 1. He's my good boy going into season 2. Who else have we got? We had Arax, ridden by Lucerys. He was absolutely chomped down last season by Vhagar. I might have to cut out the fact that we've got Laena Velaryon there, because that's a bit of a spoiler for season 3 and beyond. Season kind of past the dance. But we've got Vhagar being ridden by Aemond. And that's going to be absolutely badass. Seeing Vhagar. There was that shot of Vhagar in the trailer, which looked absolutely unreal. It just looks fucking ginormous, and it looks amazing. We've got a few of the smaller dragons ridden by some of the kids. So these are... So we've got Joffrey, who's this guy here. He's going to ride Taraxis. So we saw Taraxis in season 1 in the Dragon Pit. And then we've got 2 new dragons, Morgul and Stormcloud, being ridden by Team Black eventually. Or maybe not even being ridden in season 2 and beyond, but being claimed by Rhaenyra and Daemon's kids. So, loads of dragons. There's going to be loads of dragon fighting. There's going to be lots of dances of dragons, and it's just going to be unbelievable. I think it's going to be what we should have got in The Long Night. This sort of dragon battles is what we should have been given between the Night King and Jon and Daenerys. This is what we should have been privy to, not the shit that we've got in the dark that we were, given in season 8. So that's kind of a brief overview of the dragons, right? There's a lot of dragons. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot of dragons. They did well last season to give us the key information about the key dragons. With Caraxes, Maelys, Syrax, Vhagar, and Arax really. We're and Sea Smoke, I guess, because of the whole plot with Laenor. So yeah, lots of dragons. There's going to be loads of dragon fights, and one of the key dragon fights of the season is going to be the Battle of Rook's Rest. Now, where this falls within the season is likely to be midway through. Is likely to be. Well, I was under the impression it would be kind of midway through, but let's just get up. There was a Reddit article about Season 2 episode titles, and apparently the Battle of Rook's Rest and the aftermath takes... it happens... Excuse me. It happens in episode 4 and episode 5, so let's just bring that up. Where are we? No, that's wrong. There we go. So I don't know if these are confirmed, but essentially... Hang on, I need to put a spoiler warning out for these because... Right, Samuel Pickett, welcome to the chat, pal. Great to have you with us. Thanks for joining. Episode 7 is called The Red Queen. Right, I need to get a better updated list of these episode names then. Episode 7, Hot D, Season 2. I can't find any kind of... I know the first 4 have been dropped. Episode titles. Right, we know... Oh, is it on a Wiki of Ice and Fire, actually? Sorry about this. Should have got this prepared. I thought the... I did think it looked a bit odd. So, episode names. Right, let's have a look. Season 2. No. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Yeah, it did look a bit odd, Samuel, that list. Considering we're not going to get the Battle of the Gullet this season. So yeah, that's a bit surprising. Anyway, I think I'm going to try and have to get a better episode list rather than waste time now. So what I think we'll do is I think we'll just finish off with some of the new characters in season 2. So as I've alluded to, we've got 2 new characters from the books, Adam of Hull and Alan of Hull. Now, as far as I'm concerned, these are, I mean, I did put out a video claiming that Adam might be Laenor, and I think because we've actually got a different character in Adam of Hull, that obviously that theory's been debunked now. But there's still, I mean, the jury's still out as to whether or not Laenor returns. I mean, he could, because theoretically he could be still alive in this story, and it just makes it really awkward as to what they do with Sea Smoke, his dragon. But nonetheless, we've got two bastard sons, apparently from Laenor. I think it is in the book, but they may be bastard sons of Corlys. We've then got Lord Cregan Stark. Now, Lord Cregan Stark and Jacaerys are going to have a key relationship in Season 2, whereby Jace has been tasked with going to the Eyrie to visit Lady Arryn, and then go up to the north to go and visit Lord Cregan Stark. Now, this is to try and rally his troops in the north in favour of Rhaenyra's claim to the throne, and this is where we're going to get reference to the Pact of Ice and Fire. This is where we're going to get reference to Azor Ahai, potentially, the prince that was promised, the White Walkers. We may even get them going up to Castle Black, see the wall, maybe even going beyond the wall. I doubt they'll go beyond the wall, and I doubt we'll see the White Walkers, but I think there's a possibility that they can go to the wall. I haven't seen anyone confirm that yet, that they're going to the wall. The trailer, though, is pretty evidence. There's a lot of evidence there that suggests that they go to the wall, and that'd be cool. So we've got Lord Cregan Stark. So he's a Lord of Winterfell, obviously, and this sword here, that's ice. That's what Ned Stark killed that kid with, that deserter of the Night's Watch with, in episode 1 of Game of Thrones. But what Lord Cregan Stark is going to bring is that fan favourite Stark kind of, that kind of Stark perspective, and I think it's going to be such a cool scene, seeing another Stark in the show. He's going to be a massive fan favourite going into Season 2. Now, Alice Rivers is a really interesting character, and again offers a lot of romantic and political aspects to the story, particularly on the green side, and particularly where it comes to Aemond One Eye. What they do with her and how far she is involved, I don't think we've seen her on the trailer, unless there's that one scene, and I'll go through it shortly. There's that one scene on the trailer with a blonde girl, but I think that's I can't see that being Alice Rivers. So yeah, Alice Rivers, really cool character, really intertwined with Aemond's plot in Season 2, politically, romantically, maybe fucking up his head, maybe kind of getting into his head. There is talk as well, though, that let's just get some backstory on Alice Rivers. I mean, she's part of House Strong, or she's a bastard of House Strong, and she's got this kind of magical. She's basically another. I've got this impression she's like the ghost of High Heart. She's like a woods witch. I'm not saying she's a child of the forest, and I'm not saying she's exactly the same as the ghost of High Heart, but I think she's got some sort of magical capability. Now, whether that is because she's got something to do with the old gods and the children of the forest in some sort of magical way, I don't know. But she is regarded as a witch. She is regarded as some sort of magic user, and it could be argued that she puts a spell on Aemond. Alright, I'm just reading up on her, that's all. Because, excuse me, she does get pregnant in the books, and it's such a, she's got such an interesting backstory. Right, and then we've got we've got two of probably the most important characters, new characters, Hugh the Hammer and Ulf the White. And we've established that these are going to be dragon seeds. We'll see these. We'll definitely be seeing a lot of these in Season 2. They play a massive part, not only in Season 2, but in the seasons to come as well. Tossing and turning between allegiances, claims for the throne, dragon fights. There's going to be all sorts of shenanigans going on with these pair. I really hope that they stick to the source material with these two. And to see Hugh the Hammer fly on Vermithor is going to be, for me, one of probably the scenes of the show. Obviously, we've got the Battle of the God's Eye, but seeing Hugh Hammer riding Vermithor is going to be one of the scenes of this show for me. Now, why are Hugh the Hammer and Ulf the White important? Because these are two people that claim to be of some sort of Valyrian or Targaryen descent, and they are able to claim dragons, these unclaimed dragons, for Team Black, so for Rhaenyra and Daemon's faction. And these two support their efforts in the battle against the Greens, but it gets a lot more complicated in season, which will likely be in Season 3 and potentially in Season 4 if we get it with these pair. They've got a lot of, they've got a lot to do. They've got a lot to, they've got a lot coming their way. Put it that way. There's a lot. We're going to be seeing a lot of Hugh and Ulf in the seasons to come. I think that probably wraps up the 6 main new characters I wanted to go through. I think what we'll do now is... Great to see so many votes in the chat, by the way. I think what we'll do is now is... we're going to go through the trailer. If I've still got it up. Yes, we have. Now, I did get a copyright strike last time for having this on, so I'm going to kind of try and actually, have I got this downloaded? I think I have. So bear with me. Downloaded. Fantastic. Okay. Hopefully it isn't too loud for you folks. Let's just get another window capture. So we're going to go through this, try and go through it kind of scene by scene, and try not to get a copyright strike here. Hopefully that isn't too loud for you. So first things first, we've got Daemon in what looks like, fact, yeah, we'll keep the sound on. We'll just try and pause it now and again. We've got Daemon strolling through. I mean, that's clearly the Iron Throne there. We've got Daemon strolling through King's Landing in the throne room. Now, this
a Targaryen who sits the Iron Throne.
That's either a dream or some sort of flashback. It's got to be, because I mean, you know, for one, I don't think he goes back to King's Landing until probably the end of Season 2. But 2, he's going to be going from Dragonstone to Harrenhal pretty sharpish. So maybe this is a flashback. Maybe this is a dream. Maybe this is both. Maybe this is kind of him being resentful that Rhaenyra is the heir and is passing that heir down to Jace and passing that knowledge of the prince that was promised and Azor Ahai down to Jace as well.
It's the Iron Throne.
This is a great shot of Cregan Stark and of Jace on top of the wall. Well, what looks like probably Winterfell, but it would be so damn cool if we got these pair in Castle Black. That would just be unbelievable. That would just be fantastic for me.
It's not just a king.
Because it's not quite clear there whether or not that is Winterfell or whether that's Castle Black. It could be either. It's likely going to be Winterfell. I can't see them showing Castle Black that obvious in the trailer.
Or a queen.
Now, this is a real interesting scenario, right? We had the first teaser trailer a couple of months back with Alicent when she goes underwater, and there's that whole weird scene of her being like naked, probably looking over the God's Eye maybe, or looking over Shipbreaker Bay. Is this her? Because in all fairness, she doesn't really have a lot to do in the early stages of the Dance of the Dragons, or in the Dance of the Dragons at all. So they may have to kind of manufacture some storylines for her. And one of the things they could do is maybe tie into the Maesters piece again, like I was talking about Massaria earlier. But yeah, there aren't many arcs that they could give her that are obvious to me. But what's cool is there was talk online when the first teaser trailer came out, and especially when this trailer came out as well, that Alicent was looking over the God's Eye. Sorry, over from Harrenhal into the God's Eye. Now, how that works, I don't really know, but yeah, I'm kind of umming and ahhing as to what they're going to do with Alicent, apart from the political stuff with Aegon in season 2. Right, let's just get that. We've got that clip of. I just want to find that dragon clip. Well, we'll come back to these eggs. So that looked like Rhaenyra's crown. This could be any one of the dragons really. So let's just nip back to the dragons. I mean, this could be. No, it looks very grey. This could be Vermax. So Jace on Vermax. That looks quite grey. It could be Vhagar. I don't know, we can't really tell how big that is. And these are dragon eggs. I mean, spoilers for later seasons, but these do crop up, these eggs, and it's after the Dance of the Dragons and after kind of quote unquote House of the Dragon finishes where these eggs, or it might be right towards the end or at some point in the future, where these eggs resurface. And they've got a real interesting backstory, because when I look at these 3 eggs, I'm thinking Daenerys, I'm thinking her dragon eggs, and yes, there is a reference to these dragon eggs in the Fire and Blood books as well.
They are a protector of the realm.
So, this is an interesting one, an interesting scene to go into, because what we talked about earlier was the names of the episodes. Now, if this is going to finish before the Battle of the Gullet, and rightly so, we had Samuel Pickett in the comments mentioning that the fall of King's Landing happens after the Battle of the Gullet, which it does. It might happen in tandem in the show, but what we've got is we've got Rook's Rest, we've then got the Battle of the Gullet, and then we've got the fall of King's Landing. I can't see us having the fall of King's Landing happen in season 1. Season 2, sorry. So I don't know what all of this unrest is in King's Landing. Maybe this is Rhaenyra coming to King's Landing at the end of the season, potentially. Maybe. Maybe they're starting all of the political and the, the societal unrest early doors to really ramp it up for when we get the shepherd. Right, so we've got a dark dragon with red wings, so this could be Vagar again. It looks pretty beefy. And that neck looks too short to be Caraxes.
Now I find myself in an impossible position.
We've got a great shot of Aegon probably taking the throne for... Yeah, we've got Aegon taking the throne here. I mean, this shot could just be Rhaenyra in Dragonstone. Again, not much that they can do with her in the season. They're going to have to engineer some stuff, you know.
Possible position.
All hail!
I don't know who these two fellas are. That looks maybe like the Maester.
King Aegon!
The enemy usurped my throne.
Now this is Rhaenyra getting battle ready. So maybe we're going to have her go out into battle and kick some ass. I wouldn't want to see that, if I'm honest. I've got no disrespect for women on the battlefront, but equally, that's not what happens in the books. That's clear. That doesn't happen in the books.
We're going to King's Landing.
Now, this clearly happens at early doors in the season. I'm just thinking, why... When do they go to King's Landing? I thought Daemon goes straight from Dragonstone to... Ah, no, he goes to arrange Blood and Cheese, does he? He must do.
Well, what?
So we've got the balls. They've returned. We've got Aemond here. Otto. Maester. Is it Maester Orwell? Yeah. We've got Jasper Wilde, who I think is Master of Coin. No, Master of Ships, maybe. Alison. The only one that seems to be missing is Jason Lannister, who I think is Master of Coin and has protected the gold, the Targaryen gold here. In kind of this, or he will have already have protected the gold at this point. And then obviously we've got Kristen Cole. Now this may be after. Let me just have a think about when this could be, because. So this is going to be after the Civil War in the Riverlands. This might be after the Battle of the Burning Mill, where Kristen Cole is likely to take the title of Hand of the King.
Are we going to do about it?
Now that is in reference, obviously, to what's going to happen in episode 1 and 2. And I won't go into that into great detail, but it's going to be probably the highlight of the entire season. Some fantastic shots there, King's Landing, actually. My God. Look at that.
We must play the board before us.
Proceed cautiously.
Fuck! Oh. Okay, mate. So let's just...
We must play the...
So we got... He looks like he's in a different position there as he does... there. He looks bottom. He's bottom right there, but he's actually.
We must play
there, Otto. Because I'm sure the king's going to be sitting here. So he's handed the... Yeah, because he's got the pin there, you can see. He's got the pin. He's handed the king there.
before us.
Proceed cautiously.
Fuck dignity.
Oh.
I want revenge.
So that's in reference to episode 1 and 2 again. Now, this is going to be the civil war across the Riverlands. This is going to be the Battle of the Burning Mill. This is going to be the forces of House Blackwood and who have declared for Rhaenyra, and House Bracken go head to head. And this is where Aegon loses his support in the Riverlands. So this could be early doors in the season where they go out towards the Riverlands. Because that looks like Lannister red to me. And the Lannisters will obviously be backing Aegon because of one Lord Jason Lannister, who I think is Master of Coin at this point in the story. Or he should be, at least.
News spreads through the realm.
Now, what have we got here? We've got like a creamy green dragon. So this could be either Sea Smoke or Joffrey Velaryon, by the looks of things. Does that have a rider? That has a rider as well. Yeah. That could be Joffrey, or it could be Sea Smoke.
The great houses will come to our side.
Well, which houses are they? Well, we've got House Bracken. And how I ever remember it is the Blackwoods side with Team Black and the Brackens side with Team Green. So we've got black and black. There's actually quite a few. There's a fair few team houses on the side of Team Black. Yeah, there's a list on a wiki of Ice and Fire, and oh, here we go. There's nearly a third extra of houses that are loyal to the Blacks. That just goes to show the pull that Daemon and Rhaenyra have, really. So again, more soldiers. I'm guessing this is going towards the Riverlands, or it could be the Battle of Rook's Rest. This is clearly the Battle of Rook's Rest, because all of the different heraldry and sigils. That's going to be a fucking unbelievable battle.
I did not think they would be so eager to die.
Now, he could be referring to a number of things there, Daemon. He could be referring to Blood and Cheese, or the Civil War, or the Cargill twins. I can't see that being late on. Now, I think this shot is a bit deceptive, right? I think this is either going to be one of the final shots of the season where we're getting the Battle of the Gullet prepared for, and Corlys is getting his ships together, and I think in a minute we're going to get that scene where he pledges his support to Rhaenyra.
My ships sail at your command.
There you go.
At your command. At your command.
So that's going to be probably the end of the season, I reckon. When we've done all of Rook's Rest, and we end at the start of the Battle of the Gullet between Corlys Velaryon and those from the east who we had trouble with in season 1.
At your command.
I'm gonna get my boy, my redneck long boy. He's going to be my boy. Out transition into Daemon with the Valyrian steel armor, which looks absolutely fucking badass. Max height for that.
isn't a leader strong enough to unite him.
Do you accept me as your queen and ruler?
You see, the other thing that they're doing is really revoking that there's a lot of political unrest within the Black faction, and the fact that Daemon is now jealous of Rhaenyra because of the whole A Song of Ice and Fire thing, and the Prince That Was Promised thing, and the fact that he's no longer the heir and he doesn't know about all of this prophecy stuff. I think he's going to go off the chain, I do, and just go and do his own thing. And he's going to be like, I'm fighting for Team Black, but I'm not fighting for Rhaenyra, if you get what I mean. Now, this is, I reckon that is Sunfire, who is arguably one of the most beautiful dragons we're going to see in the show. And Sunfire is ridden by none other than Aegon II himself. We're going to be seeing a lot of Aegon on Dragonback this season. We're going to be seeing a lot of Sunfire this season. And we did actually get a glimpse of Sunfire towards the back end of season 1. I think it was... No, it wasn't. It was... it could have been episode 4 or 5. It was the funeral. That may be... Actually, no, it was early doors, actually. When they're all at the funeral, I think. Anyway. Another shot of what is probably Sunfire there. More Rook's Rest. I think... So... Is this Duskendale here then? I'm pretty sure that's going to be Duskendale, and this is going to be the Battle of Rook's Rest.
This senseless war's end.
See, it's going to be playing a very political game this season, but I don't actually know what else she's going to be doing, Alicent. It's going to be a bit of a spare part.
Shall never prevail.
Not like this.
Go again. That's the best shot of the whole trailer, I think, apart from the Vermithor one. That is fucking sexy. That is a sexy shot.
Alicent holds love for our enemy.
And this whole kind of thing around Alicent still loves Rhaenyra. Does Rhaenyra still love Alicent? That's another interesting dynamic, and I do like that.
That makes her a fool.
Now, this is the shot I was talking about. Will they go to the wall? Now, I don't think they would be showing us this if that we weren't expected to go to the wall. So I reckon we're going to get this, this shot of Cregan Stark and Jace walking to the wall here, going to the wall from Winterfell. It's going to be a long way, and maybe it's towards, maybe it takes them all season to get there. Another great shot. We've got Jace and Cregan Stark. You can see that by the Stark emblem, and we've got that massive fuck off greatsword at the back of Cregan Stark. Now, is that sea smoke? That looks like sea smoke to me. Yeah. And this is going to be, I reckon this is Kristen Cole at the Battle of Rook's Rest, fleeing the Dragonfire.
The enemy without may be fought with swords. The enemy within.
Oh, hang on. It's that Cargill Bowl.
The enemy without may be fought with swords.
Yep. Yep, you can see Cargill versus Cargill. That's going to be a sick fight as well. I can't ever remember who dies. Is it Rhaenyra's or is it Aegon's? Oh, and I know how to... It's always difficult, but E is green, but actually is Team Black. And A is black, but he's actually on Team Green.
The enemy within is small.
So this is Aemond. Now, whether he's at a brothel and he's with some random, or whether he's with Alice Rivers, will remain to be seen.
Sidious.
That was Adam of Hull. Was it? Or is that Alan of Hull? That looks more like Alan of Hull to me. Because you can tell it's one of the Hulls because he's got the Valerion seahorse there. Now, this could be Helena. I mean, what do you think, chat? Can you let me know in the comments who you think that is? Because I always thought this was Alice Rivers, but then I kind of went back and I thought, I'm sure Alice Rivers actually had black hair.
There is more than one way to fight a war.
So, what have we got here? This is blood and cheese. This is going to be one of the best, the most disgusting, vile acts since we've had the Red Wedding. And that's what Massaria is, I reckon, going to be heavily involved with in Season 2. Again, more political unrest as we had to the start of the trailer. I'm unsure why we're getting this. I need to rack my brain as to why we're getting it, because I can't quite put my finger on why we're seeing this political unrest, because all of this really starts once Rhaenyra takes over, and that's after this season. Right, just jumping back to the chat, we've got Nelson Moreno. There's multiple versions of who died first. Oh, are you talking about Cargill Bowl? Ah, now you've reminded me. Yeah. If that's the case, that does ring a bell. Right, we got Harold Westerling there, protecting his queen. Didn't know he was back. Oh, that's Helena. Ah, this looks like the funeral. So maybe there's real massive political unrest following Blood and Cheese. Because look, they look like they're in their funeral attire there. More sick battles. We're going to have some quality battles this season. This is probably Rook's Rest. Again, Rest. Now, this is Rhaenys on top of Meleys. And this is definitely going to be... yeah, this is definitely going to be... Sorry, I had some notification. This is definitely going to be the Battle of Rook's Rest. And the climax to that is going to be pretty heartbreaking. Because this battle is going to be between Aegon and Sunfire versus Rhaenys and Meleys. And I think even Aemond gets involved as well with Vhagar. Yeah, 2-on-1. Oh, is that a shot of Meleys? Whoa, that's quality, that is. I like that. That's a sick shot. Yeah, you can tell it's rain. Oh, Aemond on Vhagar. Badass.
War is coming, and neither of us may win.
Whoa. And that, in the background, folks, is none other than Vermithor, I think. Looks fucking unbelievable. What can I say? Tonight, tomorrow, looks fantastic. Absolutely buzzing for it. How are we doing for time? We're at an hour and a half. I think we'll we'll just do one final check on the chat, and then I think we'll call it a night, because it's been a great podcast. Been great to have so many with us. Great to have 15 votes in the chat. Great to see everyone's kind of voting for one of the teams. Mostly people are kind of rooting for Team Black, but I suspect that's more to do with Damon. And then we've got Team Green and Team Damon as well. Not many people after Damon specifically. But let's just finish off with a few more comments in the chat. So we've got Nelson Moreno. I think they have a different dress from the funeral, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's the only thing I've been able to come up with, Nelson, really, as to why there's kind of that unrest. And if this is following the funeral of the child, and because really, that child would have been heir to the throne, technically. So, you know, I can see why that would be the case, why people would get mad and would get scared. And I think in terms of your other comment, looks like she's wearing a mask, Rhaenys. I think this is probably some sort of battle armor or battle mask that she's had on. What else have I got for you tonight, folks? I think I think I'm going to kind of call it a night there, and unless there's anything else that you want me to go through ahead of the season 2 premiere later on. I mean, it's 9 o'clock now. This time in the US, in a few hours' time, we're going to be watching it, so I'm absolutely buzzing. If there's anything else you want me to cover, I can go through that now. So speak now, or forever hold your peace before episode 1 of season 2. I think we've pretty much touched on everything I wanted to go through. There's all the kind of the spoilers I've had from the books. We've had, I mean, the only other thing I guess to discuss is the fact that yes, we're getting 8 episodes, but each of these are going to be likely in and around the hour plus mark. Although I think the Battle of Rook's Rest is going to be the shortest episode of the season. It's probably that because it's going to just be the battle. So I think if that's everything tonight, folks, that you want me to go through, I think we're going to call it a night. And I'll get a live stream out for tomorrow, and we'll try and do some Q&A after I've watched the first episode. If you've joined us in the chat, it's been fantastic to have you with us as always. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the love and support. And I'll catch you tomorrow for House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 1, breakdown, review. We're going to go through the episode, Q&A as well. Catch you then. Bye for now.